What drives the Capital Region? What drives the Capital Region? Salisbury Chevrolet, Freeman's Bridge Road in Scotia. Chevrolet, an American revolution.
Dirt across the Northeast here in 2008 in these budget sportsman, spec sportsman type vehicles. He starts from back on the inside of row number 6. Outside of him, John Calcagni Jr. in the 56 starts next to Wilder. The 19D next in line, that is Dan Conklin, a regular from Accord Speedway. Conklin starts to the inside of the 26 of Derrick McGrew. The 77 of Danny Peckham and the 12C of Peter Carlotto back behind them. The 5 car of Gary Siemons and the 05 of Anthony Marro. Then it is another one of the Accord regulars, the 3 car back there in line. That's Danny Cross. As we get ready to go green, down here off turn 4, the green flag flies. Bodie Bellinger with the 15, the 97 of Ralph Denison, the 39 of Chris Rheome Jr., the 83 of Kenny Towne. We got cars together down here through turns 1 and 2, and that's going to bring yellow out on the speedway. Yellow is out. So yellow out on the speedway, a number of cars together down here in turn 4, and 2 more caught up down here on the front stretch as the yellow came out, and a couple cars checked up, another few didn't. Mike Burdo also involved. They were not part of the original caution. They were caught up down here when cars checked up in Rich Peterson, and the reason being a right rear shock on Mike Tholin's car. Jeremiah Munson's car going off on the hook, the Kevco Fabrication 350 of Aaron Jacobs back there in row number 2. John Bates and CV Elms make up row 3. Jeremy Wilder and Derrick McGrew in row 4. Row 5, the 14 of Scott Duell and the 05 of Anthony Marro. As they come down, green flag is back up on the speedway. The 24 of Mike Tholin did make his way back up, and now Burdo up off the bank in turn 2. So trouble in turn 2 sends Mike Burdo up over the bank after taking that second row restarting position, and Burdo has come to a rest up there off of turn number 2 as the field makes their way down here over the line. It looks like that will bring yellow out on the speedway. So yellow is out. As yellow comes out for the 97B of Mike Burdo, the reason for the caution here with 2 complete. Now again, this is where it comes into play, the first 5 and the final 5, making his presence now felt. Keep an eye on Wilder. He was part of the Albany-Saratoga Glen Ridge Challenge towards the end of the 2008 campaign. He picked up a win here at Albany-Saratoga Speedway. He's also won up at the Ridge. He's won at Fonda this year. He won the big event out at the Fulton Motor Speedway. Keep an eye on Wilder coming from the inside of row number 2. Down to turn number 1 they go. Gentile, your leader, mashes the gas and leads the way down here through the corner. Brings Jack Swinton along with him, and now here comes Wilder with Aaron Jacobs and Derrick McGrew rounding out your top 5. Wilder using that inside lane, going to work on the 07 of Jack Swinton. He'll work that low line down here through the corner as they come down off of turn number 2. He'll take that second spot away, dealing the 07 of Swinton back to 3rd. Up on the point, the 20 of Jack Gentile showing the way. Here's Wilder and Swinton going at it again. Car slowing off turn 4 is the 26 of Derrick McGrew, and McGrew trying to make his way back to the pit area. Back here into turn number 1, looks like McGrew will drop behind the wall here with 4 laps shown complete. So 4 complete, and Jack Gentile leads him down to put 5 on the board. Cautions will count from here on in till the final 5. as Gentile leads the way off of turn number 2. Swinton and Wilder run second and third. Aaron Jacobs back there in fourth. CV Elms rounds out your top 5. 6 through 10, now we find the 05 of Anthony Marro back there in 6th. 7 spot Peter Carlotto. A great race back there for 8 spot right now between the 14 of Scott Duell and the 1 of John Bates. Duell will take that position away, dealing Bates back to 9th. And rounding out your top 10 here in the early going is car number 3, one of the Accord Speedway invaders. That is Danny Cross. So Cross completing the top 10 here in the early going. He's now going to go to work on John Bates as he works up off of turn number 2. Bates will now backslide to 10th as Cross makes his way around the outside of him. Up on the point, Jack Gentile trying to use the inside lane to get by the 00 car as they work down here off the corner. The 00, Tony Souricciani with the West Point Spirit sponsored entry, another Accord regular, holding up the 20 there for just a moment, but now going right back down to the inside. Jack Swinton and the 20 of Jeremy Wilder both getting by him. Wilder, your third place car. Got a couple of lap cars separating third and fourth now as the 16 of Aaron Jacobs back there in fourth. Fifth spot is the 6 car of CV Elms. Elms riding in the 6th position. 7th spot, the 05 of Anthony Marro with the 14 of Scott Duell, the 12C of Peter Carlotto, and the 3 up on the outside. Once again, that's Danny Cross, and Cross is the man on the move now. Keep an eye on Danny Cross. He's a long ways from the front, but he is passing cars, making his way up through the top 10 right now. Cross going to work on Peter Carlotto down here into turn number 1, and Cross using the outside lane. He's got it to his liking, working up off of turn number 2. That battle for second, still the best one on the speedway as they come down to turn number 1. The 20 of Jeremy Wilder trying to take that spot away from Jack Swinton, and Wilder just caught the inside barrier in turn 2. Wilder caught the barrier hard in turn 2. Keep an eye on the left front tire. It is already down on Wilder's car. So Jeremy Wilder, after making hard contact with that inside barrier, has cut the left front, and we'll see if he can adjust his driving style there in the 20 car. He has lost a lot of ground to Jack Swinton now, as Swinton has broke free from that battle, and Swinton has got his eyes on the backside of Jack Gentile. Swinton making up ground in a hurry, and he's going to get a run on Gentile here in slower traffic. Jack Swinton making a lane of his own down off the backstretch that time. He'll come down and he'll work the inside lane. He's going to try and wrestle it away from Gentile here on the front stretch. Lap cars side by side, dead ahead. Gentile and Swinton going at it here off the corner. Down the backstretch they go. Jack Gentile, your leader. Jack Swinton riding second. Jeremy Wilder now a distant third. Gentile driving down between the slower automobiles. He gets by LaMont with the 12K and the 84 Junior of Claude Hutchins. Down through turns 1 and 2, slower cars dead ahead once again. This time it'll be Kenny Towne with the 83 and the 12K of Rich LaMont as the 20 of Jack Gentile continues to try and make his way through this slower traffic. Jack Swinton will work the inside lane again. He'll go downstairs to turn number 1. Gentile going to be caught upstairs off turn 2, but that lane opens up for Gentile and he'll pull back away. Jack Gentile, your leader, the 07. Working right there on his tail. Jack Swinton back in third spot, the 20 of Jeremy Wilder and the 16 car of Jacobs now coming together up here for position. Jacobs getting a run, got one slow to a stop up off of turn number 2. That is the Danny Cross 2D car. While he was running in the top 10, he comes to a stop up in turn 2, and that's going to bring Yellow out on the speedway. So Yellow is out. Wilder, who was right in the midst of the battle, again, he caught the barrier on lap 13. He had run with that left front flat tire. That's the Jeff Jones owned automobile, the Fusillo Chevrolet of Nelliston, sponsored number 20J. A lot of success in that automobile since he has put Wilder behind the wheel, and we'll see what he can do coming back up through the pack as now the green flag flies on lap 25. So the green flag is back out right at the 1/3 mark here this afternoon in the 6:02 Nationals up on the Speedway now. As they come down off of turn number 4, Jack Gentile and Jack Swinton continue to show the way. Gentile, your leader. Swinton rides second. The 16 next in line. That is Aaron Jacobs. Got 2 cars upside down here on the front stretch, and that's going to bring red out here on the front chute. Red flag is out as 2 cars come to rest down here after going end over end. The 28 of Steve Douglas and it looks like Tim and Anagnos, the other car involved. As both cars have come to a stop. Report from the scene, both drivers are okay. So both drivers okay, that's the good news. Both drivers, of course, will be disappointed. Some battered race cars down there. See Tim and Anagnos coming out and making an acknowledgement to the crowd. Obviously, some well-wishers down there that certainly looking to check on Tim's condition, and he has made his way out of the automobile. Steve Douglas, the other driver involved. Steve Douglas, 10th place man in points up at the at Glen Ridge Speedway. The Newburgh Steel and Fabrication sponsored automobile. Tom Mackey, the crew chief on that number 28, Steve Douglas. And Tim and Anagnos, the 2 cars that were involved down here on the front stretch. So Douglas climbing down from his automobile as well. And Anagnos, the other car involved. And Anagnos started his racing career in the mini stock division. It was at that time called the Cruisers here at the raceway. DD Motorsports is the sponsor on that. Brother Jim is the crew chief on the automobile. Tim and Jim both were regulars in the mini stock division here at the track. That's the Bear Ridge Speedway sponsored entry. Of course, Butch is the owner-promoter up there at the Bear Ridge Speedway, a longtime racer himself. CV Elms wears a lot of hats in the racing community, and one of which the promoter, and pretty much does everything up there at the track from gate to gate. It's good to see him back down here at the Great Race Place. He's been a long time competitor on the CVRA, away from race night at his track. Back behind him, it's Scott Duell, the Lazaro's Auto Body number 14 car, and the paint job that Scott had set for Super Dirt Week came up just a couple of positions from picking up a starting berth out at the New York State Fairgrounds last week. Disappointing assault on the Super Dirt Week venture, but nevertheless. Lap cars to the inside, lead lap cars in the outside lane. Jack Gentile will set the pace down here through turn 3 and 4, looking for Rich Peterson's green flag. Off turn 4, green flag is in the air, and we are back underway. Down to turn number 1 they go. The 20 car, Jack Gentile, will set the pace there. And Jacobs now trying to get a run there on the 07 of Jack Swinton. Swinton riding in the second spot. Keep an eye on Jacobs. Once he can clear these couple slower cars, he is by Kenny Towne's 83, going to work on Rich LaMont's 12K car. And now he will clear the 12K of LaMont. He has not cleared him as of yet. Down to turn 3, he'll work the outside lane. Looking for some bite up there on the high side of the speedway. And now he'll work to the outside of LaMont. Once he clears there, he'll try and get a run and try and run down your leaders. Right now, Jack Swinton is the man on the move. He's trying to close in on Jack Gentile. And Swinton, by use of that outside lane, going to work on Gentile up here through turn 3 and 4. Gentile, your leader. Swinton rides second. Third is Jacobs. A distant fourth is Chuck Elms. Now Scott Duell rides back there in 5th spot as he sits 5th. 6th spot is the 05 of Anthony Marro. Two distinctively different lines through the corners between a pair of Jacks, Jack Gentile and Jack Swinton. And Jack Swinton is going to work up on the high side down here to turn 1. He'll pedal it as fast as he can off turn number 2, and he'll take the top spot away from Jack Gentile here on lap 32. 32 is the number where Jack Swinton takes over the top spot. He'll click off 33 this time by. We got one around over here in turn 4. One car around, it's Kenny Towne's number 83 car as he comes to rest over here in turn number 4. Going to be ready to go off turn number 4 as they come down off the corner. Rich Peterson will look them over. Green flag is out, and we're back underway. Jack Swinton out front. Jack Gentile rides second. Aaron Jacobs is third. Mike Tholin now has found something up on the high side of the speedway. Keep an eye on Tholin. A little too high that time off the backstretch. Gentile coming back at your leader, the 07 of Swinton, up here on the point, but to no avail. Gentile trying to close in on him, but it will not work as they work down off the corner and down the backstretch into turn number 3. Jack Swinton, Jack Gentile, Aaron Jacobs, run your 1, 2, 3. Back in 4th spot is the 6th car of CV Elms. Now Scott Duell going upstairs down here to turn 1. Duell going to take the long way around. He goes by the 24 of Tholin and the 6 of Elms. We'll see if he can not bolt that position down when they get to turn number 3. On the low side, it's CV Elms dropping back in position as now the 14 of Duell has got by. Up on the front, things have tightened up once again there as Jack Gentile and Jack Swinton now run side by side. Swinton on the high side takes the momentum and the lead back here across the line to put 41 on the board. 41 laps are now complete for Jack Swinton on the front of this one. The 20 of Jack Gentile not giving up, working that low line down here through the corners. Down off the corner they come. Swinton and Gentile 1, 2. A distant third all by himself is the 16 of Aaron Jacobs. Jacobs running uncontested there in 3rd position, while the 14 of Scott Duell back in 4th. 5th spot is the 24 of Roland Mike Tholin. Tholin rounding out your top 5. The 05 next in line, that is Anthony Marro, the 6 car. Behind him is CV Elms. The 351 of Jeremiah Munson, unofficially down laps to your leaders, working back up through. The 12 of Peter Carlotto, the 15 of Bodie Bellinger, make that the 15 car. As your leaders work down here to turn number 1. 44 on the board. It'll be 45 next time around. We'll be 30 laps away from checkers here in the first of 2 75-lap main events for the open wheel sportsman automobiles. As they work down here through the corner, and the pair of Jacks now separated a bit as Swinton is going to catch the tail end of the field down here off of turn number 4. The 07 of Swinton in heavy traffic, working by Kenny Towne, will now go to work on John Bates up off of turn number 2. Swinton dropping down off the backstretch again. So Jack Swinton using the extreme outside lane. Jack Gentile now going to be forced to come off the bottom, and that seldom happens. Gentile usually sticks to that inside lane, and right now as he works up the bank here between turns 1 and 2 to get by the slower cars, we'll see if his progress actually picks up. It's going to be the 07 of Swinton diving down to the inside of slower cars now. We'll go to work on Chris Rheome's 39 car, Chris Rheome Jr. in the 39, working up on the outside. Ivan Joslin just ahead of those. Both cars already down laps to your leaders as they now it'll be Swinton using the inside lane down here to make his way by the slower cars. The 93J of Joslin is the next car in line. Racing with the slower cars has allowed Jack Gentile to close back in on Jack Swinton, as Swinton and Gentile now going to be separated by less than a car length apart. They'll make their way by the 97 down here to turn number 1. The 97 automobile of Ralph Denison out of Amsterdam up on the outside. Now going to go down a lap here to the 20 and the 07 in reverse order. The 07 of Swinton continuing to show the way with Gentile close in tow down here to turn 1. This time Swinton washes up in the corner and Gentile moves back down to the inside. And now Jack Gentile has taken the top spot back away. Swinton going to come back at him. He's going to have to use the inside lane, and that is where Gentile is a little stronger. Swinton going to come down low. Danny Peckham just ahead of him, and Peckham now going to give way to the 07. It will allow Swinton to clear him off turn number 2. Gentile, your leader. Swinton now rides second, and Swinton has found the outside lane again. Keep an eye up there on the high side, as that is how he got to Gentile the first time. Gentile, your leader. The 07 riding second. To find your third place car, we've got to go back quite a ways to now find the 14 of Scott Duell. Duell has taken over the third position with Mike Tholin riding in fourth. Aaron Jacobs has backslid to fifth now, as Jacobs rounds out your top 5. The 351 of Munson racing right behind him. Munson unofficially down laps to your leaders, as the lead duo continues to close in. 54 on the books, and now the 20 to go mark has been met. 55 now completed the 75-lap main event here for the Budget Sportsman. And Jack Swinton once again has found that outside lane, and he's found it to his liking, trying to get a run on Jack Gentile. Gentile goes up to the high side for a moment, trying to get by Claude Hutchins, and now he goes right back down to the inside. There goes Swinton off the backstretch, right back up onto the speedway and down in turn number 3. Slower car of Hutchins in between the top 2 automobiles right now, as Hutchins' 84 car sitting ahead of the 07 down here to turn number 1, impeding the progress of Swinton, and Swinton's going to take the high road on him down here to turn number 3. Jack Swinton on the high line right up against the cushion here off of turn number 4. He has now got clean air, and he should now be able to close things up here to the backside of the 20 of Jack Gentile. Jack Swinton with a good run off of turn number 2. The separation right now is about a half a dozen car lengths. We'll see if Swinton can try and start to close that gap as they come down off turn 4. 59 on the board. It'll be lap 60 next time around as Jack Gentile continues to make his way up here on the point of the field. Your leader, Gentile, Swinton close in tow, and now Swinton using that outside lane as Gentile starts to close in on slower traffic. He will have to go to the high side as well, and Jack Swinton is there. Swinton 1 lane higher off turn number 2. They make their way down the backstretch, and they go side by side again, and Jack Swinton going to take it a little deeper down to turn 3. Jack Swinton on the high side will take the top spot away. He'll now go to work on slower traffic. Bodie Bellinger is the first car they come in and play with, and a little bit of contact that time, but Bellinger now working the outside of Kenny Towne, going to hang the 20 of Gentile out there high. Got slower cars racing side by side, dead ahead of your leader, the 5 of Siemons, working up on the high side, and that's where Jack Swinton is. Swinton wants to go. Siemons is there. Yellow is out, as the yellow comes out on the speedway for a car in turn 2. That is the 39 car of Chris Rheome Jr. So yellow out on the speedway. Rheome's 39 up there in turn 2, the reason for the caution. Well, we're being told they're going to stay yellow, as right now the lapped cars should be in a single file order. The lap. Green is out. We are back underway. Down to turn number 1 they go. Jack Swinton up on the high side. Jack Gentile trying to come at him. Scott Duell trying to make it a 3-car race. Up on the front. Duell, by way of that caution, comes right to your leaders now. Down here through turn 3 and 4. And don't count out Rheome and Mike Tholin. Tholin back there in 4th spot. They roll down here into turn number 1, working up off of turn number 2, the 07 car. Jack Swinton continuing to show the way. Down the backstretch they run, and now Tholin starting to close on Duell. Could be 2 separate 2-car races here in the closing stages of this event. They come down across the line to put lap 69 on. Next time around, it'll be lap number 70, and it'll be 5 laps remaining here in this first 75-lap main event. They go to turn number 3. Swinton on the high side, Gentile on the inside, just the way they've run for the majority of this event. And Rich Peterson lets them know 5 laps remain, this time by. 70 are in, 5 to go. Chris Rheome, an off-track excursion off of turn number 2. He's trying to make his way back up onto the racetrack down to turn 3. Chris Rheome will make his way back up on the track, and Jack Swinton with a 4-car length advantage over Jack Gentile brings him down here to turn number 1. That gap narrows a bit through the corners, but Swinton will pull it back away on the straightaways down to turn 3. Got the momentum working on the outside. Now Jack Gentile has gone upstairs. Gentile traditionally working on the roll line. He has now stepped it to the outside, and Jack Gentile trying to make it work up on the high side. That is where Jack Swinton has been strong each and every lap. Now Gentile used the inside lane down to turn number 3. Swinton up on the outside. It's 2 laps to go, this time by. 2 laps remain, and Jack Gentile and Jack Swinton ready to slug this one out in the final laps here of this 75-lap main event. Swinton, your leader to turn 3. Gentile going to pinch that inside lane down here off turn 4. The right silk flies, this time by. One more time to go. Yellow. Yellow is out on the speedway. Yellow out on the speedway, a 2-car incident down here in turn number 1. So yellow, Jack Gentile rides 2nd. 3rd is Scott Duell. 4th spot is Mike Tholin. 5th is Aaron Jacobs into 16. And rounding out the 6 transfer positions to the clash will be Jeremy Wilder in the 20J. 74 are in. Rich Peterson holds the green in the right hand, the white in the left hand. We're going. 1-lap shootout here in the first 75-lap feature. Jack Swinton goes to the outside, Jack Gentile to the inside. They're side by side off the corner, but that's where that will end as Jack Swinton leads them to turn 3. He'll go to the outside once again off turn 4. Gentile trying to find something, but it'll be Jack Swinton picking up the win. Swinton gets the victory. Gentile comes home 2nd. 3rd will go to Mike Tholin here in the final lap. Scott Duell will finish 4th. 5th goes to Jeremy Wilder, and Aaron Jacobs will round out your 6 transfer positions. So that is the way they finish here in the first 75, as Jack Swinton picks up the win. Swinton stopping down here in front. So Jack Swinton ready to climb out of the car down here in front. He is your winner. Jack Gentile finishes 2nd. The 24 of Mike Tholin comes across the line 3rd, taking that position away from Scott Duell in the final circuit. Duell will finish 4th. 5th goes to Jeremy Wilder, and your 6th and final transfer car is the 16 of Aaron Jacobs. There's your winner down in front, the Star Sand and Gravel, sponsored 07 of Jack Swinton. Jack Swinton picks up the win as he gets the victory here this afternoon in our 602 crate feature event. So Jack Swinton picks up the victory in this event. So Jack Swinton gets the victory lane photographs down here. He will be out a little bit later in